never smashed a racket. He never screamed at the crowd. His eyes stayed cold, his jaw clenched, and his opponents wilted in his shadow. Yet, behind that machine facade, Ivan Lendl's life is a story of rebellion, heartbreak, loneliness, and redemption. A journey so intense that even his fiercest rivals admit no one changed the game or paid the price for greatness like Ivan. You think you know Lendl? Think again. The truth about his rise, his downfall, and what finally broke him will shock you. Imagine being born where dreaming is a crime. Ostrava, Czechoslovakia, 1960. Behind the Iron Curtain, life was gray, choices were few, and freedom was just a rumor. Ivan Lendl's mother was a champion, his father a top sports administrator. Tennis was their family's only escape from the world's cold grip. As a boy, Ivan had nothing to trade but hours and sweat, hitting balls until his hands bled. He wasn't the fastest, he wasn't the flashiest, but he was the most relentless. Every mistake was punishment, every win a chance at something more. He was only 16 when he became a star in the Eastern Bloc, but every trophy was bittersweet. He could play, but he could never leave. The greatest talent of his generation was also its most tightly caged animal. Lendl's first taste of the outside world came in 1978. At just 18, he was allowed to play in America, on a short leash, under watchful eyes. The shock was immediate. Neon lights, roaring crowds, a world where tennis was more than a game. It was a ticket to freedom. One day, with a bag of clothes and his old wooden racket, Ivan made a choice that could have cost him everything. He defected. He never went home. He left his family behind, risking prison for them, and became a man without a country. The headlines called him a traitor, but to Lendl, it was the first breath of real life. He didn't know English, he didn't know American culture, but he knew how to fight. That fight would become his only language. Lendl rebuilt himself in America. He trained in silence, alone and obsessed. He hit harder, he ran farther, he started a training revolution, lifting weights, hiring nutritionists, and devouring videotapes of his rivals. While others partied, Ivan was already plotting how to break them point by point. He was hungry, homeless, desperate. In those early years, he slept on floors, took odd jobs, and played for meal money. No one thought the shy, stone-faced kid could survive in the American spotlight. But that coldness, the same steel that helped him survive in Czechoslovakia, became his superpower. By the early 80s, the world started to whisper, "Who is this guy?" The answer was simple. Ivan Lendl wasn't here to make friends. He was here to conquer tennis. But greatness never comes cheap. From 1981 to 1984, Lendl made final after final. 6 Grand Slams, 6 brutal defeats. The world began to taunt him. A choker, they said. He'll never be a champion. He lost the 1983 Australian Open, the 1984 US Open, the 1982 French. The pain became public. Commentators sneered. McEnroe and Connors laughed in press rooms. Inside, Ivan was dying. He called his mother in tears after every final. "I'm sorry," he would whisper, night after night. He could have quit. But for Lendl, pain was fuel. And then, in Paris, everything changed. 1984 French Open Final. Ivan Lendl faces John McEnroe, the American Golden Boy, unbeaten that season, the tennis world's darling. Lendl goes down 2 sets. The crowd is ready to crown McEnroe, but Ivan doesn't break. He claws back, 1 point at a time. He forces a 5th set. The crowd gasps. McEnroe collapses. Lendl, the eternal loser, wins his first Grand Slam. The dam bursts. Ivan cries, not in front of cameras, but alone in the locker room. He had broken his curse. Now the machine would be unstoppable. The next 6 years, a tennis apocalypse. Lendl made 19 Grand Slam finals. He won 8. He reached the US Open final 8 times in a row, a record never matched, even by Federer or Djokovic. He held the world #1 ranking for 270 weeks, longer than anyone before him. He did it with a new style, baseline brutality, punishing topspin, relentless movement. He invented the modern power game. He was the first to use video analysis, the first to bring a full-time fitness team, the first to eat and sleep like a monk for the sport. But the world never warmed to him. Fans booed his long routines. Rivals accused him of gamesmanship, bathroom breaks, slow play, icy stares. Commentators called him robotic, charmless, inhuman. Lendl smiled quietly. "I didn't come to entertain," he said. "I came to win." But inside, the loneliness grew. He missed birthdays, holidays, funerals. He watched his mother age through photographs. He was a world champion, but often the loneliest man in the arena. Lendl won everywhere except Wimbledon. Grass was his kryptonite. Year after year, he tried, changing coaches, changing shoes, changing everything. Twice he reached the final. Both times he lost. It became a national obsession. Would the Iceman melt at Wimbledon? "I'd trade all my trophies for that one," he confessed. But it never happened. The pain of those failures haunted him. In 1994, after a last desperate campaign, his body broke down. Back injuries forced him to retire at just 34. Chapter 8. Out of the Shadows. He walked away from tennis and disappeared. Lendl became a family man, marrying Samantha Frankel and raising 5 daughters in Connecticut. He poured his energy into golf, playing at the elite amateur level, and finally found a circle of friends who loved him for his warmth and dry humor, not his reputation. He rarely appeared in public. For years, the myth grew. Where was the Iceman? Was he broken by the sport? Did he regret the price of greatness? In 2012, a phone call changed everything. Andy Murray, Britain's tortured tennis hero, had lost 4 Grand Slam finals. The press called him a permanent bridesmaid. He needed someone who understood heartbreak. He called Lendl. The tennis world laughed. 2 chokers together? But Ivan saw himself in Andy. He became not just a coach, but a father figure, quietly showing Murray the secret. Pain is the price of greatness, but it doesn't have to be the end. Together they made history. Murray won Wimbledon twice. He became world number 1. The tears Murray shed on center court were for both of them. For Lendl, it was a healing. For the first time, the world cheered his name, not out of fear, but respect. In recent years, the public finally caught a glimpse of the true Ivan Lendl. A loving father, a loyal friend, a golf fanatic, a collector of rare art. He laughs, he cries, he rescues stray dogs. He still trains with the intensity of a champion, but now it's for fun. He's reconnected with old rivals, joking with McEnroe, mentoring young stars, even giving interviews that reveal his dry, mischievous wit. He tells his daughters, trophies gather dust, memories last. Today, in 2025, Ivan Lendl is at peace. He splits his time between family in the US and Europe, playing golf and visiting tournaments not as a legend, but as a quiet fan. He is a grandfather. He watches Murray's matches, beams at the success of new Czech stars, and offers advice to anyone who asks, never seeking credit, never wanting the spotlight. Players like Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal have all called Lendl a trailblazer. He is the father of the power baseline era, the first true sports scientist of tennis. But to those who know him best, his greatest legacy is not in titles, but in kindness, in resilience, and in the battles he fought off the court. For years, Lendl kept a secret. He never stopped feeling like an outsider. In rare interviews, he admits, "I played for survival. The trophies? They were just proof I'd made it out." He still visits the old courts in Ostrava, alone, where it all began. The Iceman was never a machine. He was just a boy who wanted to be free, and spent his life running toward it. If you think greatness is only about lifting trophies, think again. Sometimes the greatest triumph is escaping your own limits. So, what do you remember about Ivan Lendl? The robot, the rebel, or the redemption? Drop your thoughts below, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories where tennis legends are finally revealed as human.